In this episode, we're going to build a working hangar door so that when we park our awesome rover away, that we can protect it from the elements of the great outdoors on these crazy planets. But things don't go exactly to plan. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nidd. So as you see behind me, there is our massive rover, the Hog. Today I want to finish building this wonderful doorway that will allow us to close up shop and hide away the rover inside of this awesome garage here. And you might notice right off the bat that all of these blocks are finished. I didn't do this. I just logged back in and I noticed that all of these blocks are nicely welded up. I think that Boris must have got bored and came in, welded everything for me. So I have to thank him for that. That's amazingly awesome. So I just came over to the to our little Mongolia base over here, and I noticed that like things are not like, look at this. This is Boris' little rover. It looks like it's been seen better days. And over here, the base has definitely been changed quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff, and there's things just on the ground, floating around, and like this over here just laying on the ground. And some changes going on, and just look like stuff all over the place, just hanging around. And broken blocks. Something happened. Something happened here. Should be a funny story when I hear about it, but that's pretty awesome. This must have all happened recently, because we reset the server back to post the dimensional shift that you guys all saw in the last episode. That was all reset, so this is all new. Obviously, since Boris came back and got a whole bunch of iron. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. I thought it was pretty funny. We head back over here with some resources. Okay, so I've redone the frame here, as you can sort of see a little bit. Just run on up here. Here are the dimensions that we are going to use. And basically what we got going on here is, so I've got this little section cut out here on both sides in between. And it is, I believe it's 21 across and 13 tall, which is more than enough to get him in there, which is going to be a gigantic door. I want to take the time and just thank you all so much for the amazing ideas that you guys gave me for all of this. Like, the comments were awesome. You guys were all chit-chatting. I loved it. So yeah, there was tons and tons of ideas for what I could do in here, and sadly I can't do them all. I can only pick one, and I've kind of you know, jumbled a few of them together and come up with something that I think is kind of interesting. So let me get started. I'm gonna get started building on this and kind of describe to you what it is that we're doing as we go. So there was a few theme styles that came out in the comments around what kind of door we can make. Tony, Kutta, and SP761 both suggested a Jurassic Park style door where the doors open out from the middle with the rotors fixing them on the top and the bottom on both sides, which I thought was really cool. James Luke 70 had this idea where you would actually slide the 4 doors in from the sides and have them all just kind of meet up in the middle. I thought that was a really neat idea. I even had this little idea where maybe bring them in on an angle, like bring them in on a 45-degree angle into the middle, which I thought would work out really cool. I just couldn't figure out in my mind how to kind of make that happen on an angle like that. Not that that was necessary, but yeah, it was a cool idea. There was also a variation on this from Riley Epler, where instead of having the 4 doors slide in, actually have them swing in, kind of like the Jurassic Park style, but instead of 2 doors, you know, 4 little doors that all kind of meet in the middle and interlock. Textfire had a really cool idea of having one massive door that slides in from the side, but have a recessed channel underneath where the door, put it on wheels and kind of roll it in from the side, but being pushed in by pistons. I thought that was a really kind of neat idea. He also had a little idea for taking care of that hole in the ground. So like when the door obviously is rolled out, there would be a gap, right? And he thought that maybe put those airtight hangar doors there, just open up to like fill in the gap. It's kind of really neat idea, so that's kind of cool. D-Lock had a similar idea, but instead of using large blocks, he suggested using small blocks and rolling those in on wheels. That way the gap is smaller that you need to, and you don't need to fill in as much. Dakinor had this interesting suggestion of actually bringing a third door up from the middle and have the two side doors meet so that let's say that there was a problem with the size and the weight of the two doors on the side, you could make them smaller and have this third one kind of come up from the middle and solve that problem. He also had this really fun idea of using a bajillion rotors and then having a whole bunch of interlocking horizontal strips that all come together, right? And so you have this cool kind of interlocking effect as they close and open. I think that would look really cool, but probably asking for trouble with that many rotors. Riley Epler also had this idea where you could actually have like a one massive door that's connected at the bottom using two rotors, but then like have it actually inset into the ground, indented into the ground, and then have it swing up to close the door. I want to take a moment though and really thank Riley for the amazing pictures that he drew up for me and sent. They're just beautiful and crystal clear on his ideas. I really appreciate them. So I played around with a bunch of these ideas on a creative server. I originally was going with the 4-door idea, either trying to swing them in or slide them in. I really liked that idea. I thought it would have a really neat look to it. But sadly, there was a gap that happened between a few of the doors that I just couldn't make it go away. I couldn't figure out how, like with the rotors, like even playing with the displacement as much, I just couldn't get it to go away and look good. So I kind of moved on to the Jurassic Park style door, and that definitely worked really well and looked kind of cool. So then I moved on and tried the door that swings up from the bottom with the indent. I was actually kind of surprised when one giant piece like that actually worked well on the rotors and didn't break the heads off. So with that and the fact that it gave me a very large surface that I could play with for decoration wise, I thought that might be the best option for this particular door. So that's the one I'm going to go ahead with here. One of the other options that I didn't even think of when I was making the last video that the Flying Menace pointed out in the comments was that I could check out the workshop for, large hangar door mods and things of that nature. And Malkin's actually suggested this glass bridge and door mod that looked really cool. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. We already have quite a few mods on our server right now, and we're trying to keep that number down because we've noticed in the past anyway that the more mods you add, the worse the performance of the server gets. So for this build, I kind of decided that I wanted to use the mods that were already on the server or vanilla blocks. I'll be keeping these suggestions in mind as we continue to build up the base. I do imagine that there is going to be opportunities in the future in the tunnels that we make or in the buildings that we make as we go forward where some of these ideas will really work really well. Maybe the exits on the other side of the mountain, maybe even at the top, right? There'll be lots and lots of opportunities to use more of these ideas. So thank you all so much for all of your amazing ideas and suggestions. I really appreciate them. Okay, so we've got a good start on this at this point here. As you can see, I've got the dip finished with all in all its glory. We've got a bit of a power situation going on over there because we need a little bit, and I started filling this in, but then the sun came up, so I figured it was time to do the next piece here. So here is the start of the door. Now I've got 2 of these advanced rotors on either side. And the reason I'm using advanced rotors is because normal rotors no longer, let's go into here. If I take these advanced rotors and I displace them all the way, crap. If I displace them all the way back, then they will explode because I forgot that I actually had to remove the ones around them as well. Oops. Okay, let me get back to where we were right here, and I will show you what I was actually going to do. Okay, I fixed it up. Well, most of it. We still got some stuff falling down on the ground there, but yeah, so here, I made it a little bit so that it hopefully shouldn't do that again. If I take this advanced rotor, is this the one I'm looking at? No. Okay, so if I go down to this one, yeah, okay, so let's bring it all the way back, and let's bring this one all the way back, like so. Then, let's grab we just need a bit of this for the moment. I won't redo all of this right now, but if I grab, come on, there we go. Grab some of that, and then where we want the blast door edge. Let's see if I can actually get this. So yeah, if I go like this, all the way along. Doop-a-doop-doo. All the way down to the other side. Oh, okay. We'll get rid of that one. There we go. Now this one as well, I want to do the same thing and bring it back this way. And you will see that it almost connects, but doesn't quite, and it leaves you a little gap. Now this is how rotors, normal rotors, used to work this way. You could do exactly this with normal rotors, but it won't let you do it anymore. You gotta do some funky, fancy stuff to make it work. I did make a video of that a long time ago. I think it's still fairly accurate. I'll put a link to that in here if you're curious. Many different ways of merging these things together. But these ones are just easier. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And if I go to the merge block, now what I want to do is I want to place one of these on either side of this, right? Let's see if it's gonna let me. No, of course not. Let's just get rid of these guys for the moment. Go away, go away. There we go. So now if I take these merge blocks and I put one here. Oh, it still won't let me put it down? How much of this do I have to make? Are you gonna let me do it now? Doesn't like it. Okay, is this even the problem that I'm dealing with? If I get rid of this one and this one, can I put you on there now? No. What am I missing something? Steel plates, no. Okay, this. Oh, is it this? Yes, okay, so there, we put that one on there. Now obviously this one won't go on until I get rid of these two pieces as well. A little bit annoying, but hey, it's all for science. And then if I take this and I put it facing that way, and then weld these babies up. Need a few more components. Weld these up. There we go. So now they are active. And all we should have to do is bring them together. And the world should be wonderful, right? Let's see if we can do this. So let's just go twink. And then let's grab these rotors. And we just slowly pull them together until they lock. And we stop and we don't touch it ever again. Or else bad things will happen. Alright. Now, we should see that these are connected here as well. They're nicely together. And this is now one giant piece. And I should be able to get rid of these two merge blocks now, because those things are together. So I'm just going to finish welding this whole thing back up, but this is basically, oh, through the floor. This is going to be basically how this door is going to look. I'm going to fill this in all the way back up to here, and then we can test it out and see what she looks like. Woohoo!
careful with rotors and multiplayer. If on the side it says 360, see how the left one says 360 instead of 0? Like if you look on the right-hand column, like right on the far right, they equal the same thing, but if it's 360 and you set the upper limit as 0, it'll bounce, I've found. But it just bounced then, and you didn't notice, and it was all fine, so...
Yeah, well, I did the right one. So now the left one, what is it supposed to be?
The opposite. So at the moment, it's at its lowest point, and it's 0, so the uppermost point is 90.
So lower should be 0 and upper should be 90.
Yep.
Please don't explode.
No, it got the bounce out of its system.
Nope, it didn't.
No, it didn't. It definitely did not. Well, there goes the door. For a second there, I thought everything was clear. Were you recording at least?
Yep.
Well, I just did a 12-minute rant to start the video, so this fits my episode. We can just tag this onto my rant. Do you have sad music?
Yeah, I have sad music.
I think you're going to have
do you
to
know how
play
I did this? So, I'm thinking my method is better now. But you know how I did this in creative? I actually set one of them to move, and I turned the other one off, and I would only use one
master
rotor.
and slave. Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest at the start. I probably should have.
I don't know why I didn't just do it, because that's how I tested it, and that worked.
I think what happened is when you set it, because it had to reset the thing, so they both seemed to twist the wrong way or something like that. They fought each other.
Yeah,
but yeah, usually with two rotors, you have one and you turn the torque off the other one. Like torque and braking torque completely off the other one. So I guess we're doing this again.
Yeah.
It seemed to be fairly stable, though.
It was. Until that moment. Alright, well, I blame you, Boris. It's all your fault. If you didn't put profanity on my building, it wouldn't have happened. The door was upset.
I didn't even get to use it.
So sadly, I didn't have enough time before I needed to get this episode up and out to you guys to redo all of that work again. So I will do my very best to get that all welded up and everything and ready to go at the start of the next solo episode. I don't want to just leave it at that and leave you guys hanging and have no idea what this thing would actually have looked like in the end. So I am showing now the footage of my tester one that I did in my creative world, so you can see what it looks like and how it opens and closes and kind of its the basic idea to it. Drills007 suggested that I put my Jackalhead Anubis face insignia on the front of the hangar door. I thought that was an excellent idea, but I am definitely not the greatest artist in the world, and you can see what I came up with here. If you guys have any suggestions or know of some tools or whatever to make my pixel art look even better, look more like the logo on my YouTube channel, I would love to hear about those ideas in the comments. And even if you're not sure offhand, check out what other people have been saying, you might be able to add to them. And as always, I'll be down there discussing all of them with you. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I do new whitelist episodes of the Nidd on Mondays and Thursdays, and right now Roid Grab is going on Wednesdays, and there's some other great stuff scattered throughout. I hope you all have an absolute great one, and I will see you next time.